I've always meant to ask you this. Talk to me about speed and quickness. Okay,
Yep.
why? Okay, how do you differentiate, first of all, those two
Well,
words?
right. So it's very simple. Me, I'm going to explain it in the most simple way whatsoever. Speed one direction, quickness multiple directions. So, speed, plain old speed would be like doing a sprint,
Right,
doing your sprints. It could be jumping rope.
right,
It could be working on the focus bag, just boom, 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 boom. Quickness would be changing it up, boom, boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, or changing directions.
right.
That fast changing directions, lateral move, like when I do the karaoke's with the where your legs are going in different directions,
Right,
and I have the band, the resistance band
right.
out there. That'd be a quickness because I'm sprinting out, stopping, and slow back.
Okay.
So yeah, easiest way to explain it is speed one direction, quickness multiple directions. So like agility,
Yeah.
similar.
Right.
It's synonymous.
Well, you would have to be well,
Agile.
agile, right? So that's
Mhm.
sort of the default. We're
Yep.
focusing on the rate and or speed at which you are moving.
Yep.
You know. Now, where did that come from? Like, I can understand. You worked with collegiate strength trainers in the
Yep.
past. I'm sure they're not known for their speed and quickness.
Right.
So, how did speed and quickness actually become a part of CST?
NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine. I mean, I got a good bit of CST from getting that NASM certification. I came up with the CST program,
Right.
and I thought, oh yeah, this is gonna go somewhere. And then I realized, well, I want to start writing some articles, and who knows,
Right.
come up with some programming. Well, in order to do that, I need a certification. And it
Right.
needs to be more than some dumbass weekend long CrossFit certification.
Right. Right. Right.
I need to get one, and there's a bunch of them out there. And so I asked around, I poked around, and asked some credible people, and a bunch of them recommended the NASM over any. And I thought, oh, cool. So I bought all the books and started studying. I went and took that test, and I failed like a motherfucker, bro. I realized this shit is hard, man. So I had to pay the extra. I had to wait another, I don't know, 3 months. I had to restudy. I had to pay another $600 because of my failure
Wow.
to retake the test.
No kidding.
So that a bunch of like learning about what is strength versus power and all that stuff came from NASM.
Right.
All that came from my certification. And then I just came up with the days of the week,
Right.
and then my formula, working anabolic chunks in circuit to near metabolic threshold to meet an aerobic goal. Because I was like, what is it that I'm doing? What is this circuit training? How can I? And man, it took me forever to come up with that little description.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
well,
it,
it's a concise statement of
yeah,
the function of it, the purpose
yeah.
of it. Okay, so you did not necessarily have in mind CST at that time. You just wanted to develop a program yourself. What did you feel like was the need? Was you doing this for you or for?
No, 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 no. I wanted to write articles for like remember I was writing them for Recoil magazine
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
And I thought, dude, man, if I'm writing articles, I need to be somebody. I can't
Right.
just be that guy who is fit and was a special ops guy. I need to have a piece of paper at
Okay, so
least.
so at that time you were already thinking of
Yep.
invading
Writing,
this
writing
space
art. Yep. Yes. Yep.
and sort of.
Mhm.
So what year was this? Obviously post
Uh,
military. So
12. Let me see. I think 2012.
okay, so
Now, I already came up with combat strength training. The term I came up with while I was still active duty,
okay,
while working with Gittleson. When he
so
told me, he says, "This Mike Gittleson, the
right, right,
University of Michigan strength coach."
right.
Because when I gave him a tour of my gym, he says, "This gym doesn't say combat. This gym says Bally's Fitness Center."
Wow.
And yeah, yeah, it was great. It was great. And I said, you know what? You're right. And I had a conversation up to him about subliminal manipulation.
Hmm.
I says, you know what? I'm gonna rename this. I'm gonna give it a name. I'm gonna give the gym a name. And that's when I came up with that term, combat strength training, because he said combat. This gym,
Right.
because he was training special ops guys. He says, this gym doesn't say combat. It
Right.
says Bally's Fitness Center. Dude, it's perfect.
Right.
I mean, this guy, he's a college strength coach.
Right.
He's no fluff. There's no fluff with those dudes. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. So
There's no
you were
BS
so you were coming up with something
for the unit
for the unit.
at the time. Yep.
Right.
I had no idea that this would gain traction outside of the military at the time.
Right.
I just wanted us to work out cooler. So I got permission from the unit. I said, hey, man, I will paint a real sexy sign above the door. It'll look good. It'll be professional. It'll block letters and all this stuff. And they said, hell yeah, do it. So I wrote it up, the Combat Strength Training Facility. And I remember the day I finished, I stopped it. And I remember this one guy. His name is Mark Irwin, real fit dude. I just finished it and I'm looking up at it and I pull the little ladder away and my brushes and stuff. And he walks in and he glances at it and he pops back out and he goes, whoa, looks like what do you say? Looks like I've got to come in here and actually work today or some shit like that.
So he got the
But,
message.
but I was like, dude, it fucking worked.
Yeah.
Subliminal manipulation,
Or-
So,
Well, okay. So you then you felt later as you're writing for magazines like Recoil, why would anybody be interested in what you had to say about training? Why was that a concern for you that you had to, you couldn't rest on just being a former unit because they were just Recoil magazines about guns, not about
yeah, right. Yeah.
fitness.
Yeah.
So how did that become important?
So with I'll tell you the recoil part. I was brand new to T-Max, brand spanking new, but I already had a name because I had a little chunk of the YouTube world,
Right.
and there was traction there. I had, I don't know, a couple thousand subscribers, and it was all gun geeks, and gun people already knew me. Plus, I was going to trade shows and stuff like this, SWAT events, and people freaking knew me.
Right.
So already I had traction in this world. Even before T-Max, when I was working for Wexford, because they would send me out to SWAT conventions and stuff. So as soon as I got started under the T-Max banner on my own, I was at either a course or it could have been like a SWAT event or something. I can't remember where, but one of the not editors, what do you call those? Somebody who worked for Recoil magazine.
Right.
Could have been an editor or a contributor.
Sure.
Said, hey, this is in West Virginia. It was at a range in West Virginia. I could see him now and I could see the range. Yep, 100%. He said, hey, would you consider writing articles for Recoil? I said, hell yeah, bro. He said, do you know the magazine? I said, yeah. I mean, I've seen it a couple times. I mean, I'm not a subscriber or anything.
Sure.
But yeah, man. And he goes, oh, great. I said, how about if I write some articles about fitness? He goes, fitness? We're a gun magazine. I said, yeah, but you're a tactical gun magazine. You're not just a gun magazine. You're not guns and ammo. This is all about tactics. And you got to be fit. If you're going to be a tactician, if you're going to be a gunfighter, you've got to maintain some kind of level of fitness. And the guy looked at me. It was like so novel. The concept was unbelievable to him. It was so foreign, but it made such sense. He goes, dude, what in the fuck? I mean, he was blown away.
Wow.
Now, I also, check it out. I pulled that directly out of my ass. I had never thought about it before. This is the first time I thought about writing articles.
Right.
Because he asked me. So, I asked him about the format and I sent him photographs and they did the cartoon versions, the illustrations. Remember those? Did you ever see those?
Yeah.
I have all the old Recoil magazines here, but they were cool as shit, man. And it was old, I'm working out in pants and crap like that. And, a skull cap. It's all the same shit, cock rag and all that. I think it was after the first 3. I got to remember. It was something about online. Oh, this could have been 2013 now. Yes. 2013 is when I met Rebecca. Rebecca turned me on to Instagram. And I remember, and I already had instantly I had like 25,000 followers.
Mm.
Like fast. So I already had a footprint. People were
Right.
like, dude, whoa, 25,000 followers. And I posted like a screenshot of one of the articles. And this is like the third one in or something like that. And motherfucking Bert Soren commented. He said, this guy gets it. And I looked up him, and this is a world champion thrower, bro.
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit, man. Bert Soren is freaking giving me kudos.
Yes.
But that's when the sense of urgency kicked in. It's like, man, I got to get a piece of paper, you know? I got to be somebody. I got to get a certificate.
Yeah.
I can't just be that some dude, some guy, you know?
Yeah.
But it all happened. It was one, you know, and I can't even remember the exact sequence of events because I haven't thought about it until right now. But the NASM was tough, man. I mean, it was.
So you went through it again 3 months later.
Yeah. I remember going to the Sanford airport. That's where I had to take the test.
No kidding.
There's not even a real airport there. It's like a driving track now. But
how long was the test?
Buildings. Whoo! Man, it was long as shit. I remember first time I took it, I was going, I immediately regret this decision of not studying my ass off. I immediately regret it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, really, that's how it was. Because it was stuff that I will never use again, but like anatomy, you know, this ligament, this muscle, that, you know, stuff that it's just not my. I know those people who know all that shit, like Randy Sharp.
Right.
He knows every single freaking one of those things. It was boring the crap out of me. I was like, this is not why I'm here, but I know this is a part of it. Let me just study my ass off, and then I'll data dump. I don't need to retain this shit.
Right.
I'll just data dump the fuck out of it. And then once all the articles came out, and that's when Mark Neidick saw the articles and contacted me. Yeah, it was a cool little project. And the older I get, the more legitimate that system is going to become or maintain.
Oh, dude, everything I post that's training related videos, you know, I can put in tag keywords and stuff like that. I'm always putting in fit over 40, fit over after 50. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Pitching those people just because,
the
man.
mantras,
Well, that's interesting because, you know, obviously people see it as gospel, you know, at this point, but it obviously had an origin. When something has life, you're just kind of following the trail more so. You know what I mean? You've got just enough light from what you're doing to see about 20 yards ahead on the road. Like you're driving that's how it is. You can't see, you don't know the clear end goal. You don't know where this is headed. You're just trying to master the next, I got to get these next 25 yards.
Right.
And grow and develop. And
for more basic skills, field craft, and basic dude stuff, you got to join my Pat Mac Keep the Blaze Live coaching squad on Patreon. We do a live stream every week and a tier 1 Zoom every 2 weeks. The best part about the squad is we have a very eclectic group with a very wide skill set range. We run a private Facebook page that I administrate, so there's no peripheral douchebaggery. So I hope to see you there. Link is in the description. Rock and roll, baby.